mics are hot.
It's episode 36.
We can fix that later.
Yeah.
We'll fix that later. All right. Are we back? We're back. Sorry, technical difficulties.
Facebook doesn't like us, obviously.
So let's get back into it. So yeah, Keisha, Cole, and AB. He was basically like, nah, we're good here.
Keisha Cole said, she was like, my bad, I'm sorry, but then he was like still disrespecting her. So I mean,
I don't think he needed to get disrespectful. I also
to.
don't think it's ever appropriate to try to woo somebody publicly like that. Like, you should have just texted him and been like, hey, I really miss you.
Yeah.
Rather than putting it on Instagram and doing all of that.
They needed the followers, I guess.
I guess. I don't know.
She needed the followers.
I feel like that's a way to put yourself in a very vulnerable position.
Absolutely.
Like, who does that? And then we have, the lovely Brandy. Brandy got a little chip on her shoulder right now.
Jack Harlow.
Yes, so I guess Jack Harlow was on a podcast, and all he said was that he didn't know that her and Ray J were siblings. And she took this beyond offensive.
I could beat him on. What she say?
She was like, "I'll out rap you.
I'll rap you."
Like, she took
me a
this
beat.
shit sideways.
I don't think she was serious.
I think she was.
I think Brandy wants people to know that she can rap.
But whoever asked her? Who has ever heard Brandy rap?
I mean, they canceled the Queen show. Not our show, hell no, but they canceled.
Yeah, that
her
one
show.
that she did.
But Brandy could. I think because it was over his beat and it was out of left field, people kind of was like, eh. But Brandy, she can rap. She like when she can rap better than a lot of women in the rap.
I don't think I've
never
heard her rap.
I mean, she just did a freestyle on a beat recently, so I'm like tempted to actually listen to it. I don't want my ears to bleed though.
No, she can rap. I'm not gonna say like I would play it again, but she can. She wasn't trash. She got on that beat and she definitely sounded like she's been rapping for a while.
You just said that you wouldn't play it again.
Because it was on Jack Harlow's beat and it just wasn't a good song. Like,
But like, is that a necessary reaction?
No.
Like
why
the
did
way
she come at him like that?
When we're rich and famous, if somebody says like, "Oh, I didn't realize you and Brandon were brothers," are you gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Like, who reacts like that?
I can out dance you. Bro.
I'll out podcast you every fucking day. Like, who?
and she was like, "I'm gonna do this."
But why?
I'm gonna tell you
I don't think Brandy's still getting Moesha checks. I don't think Brandy gives a fuck about Jack Harlow.
I believe my comment was extremely offensive on my thought process on this. She was like, "Oh, I'll murk you on any beat." My first comment was, "Please don't talk about killing people because you already have."
She sure damn did.
Jesus Christ, she definitely did.
She sure damn did.
I don't think you should be joking about murdering people, ma'am. I just don't.
Brandy a G. So.
I don't find it funny. She just super overreaction on her part.
So, did you hear the song?
I didn't listen to it.
I did not listen to it.
I'm one of those people where, like,
I'm
you know,
now.
if you watch a movie or something and something embarrassing is, like, you get embarrassed for them. That's me. So I'm afraid that I'm going to listen to her and I'm going to cringe and I'm going to get embarrassed for her.
I was embarrassed when she was battling Eve on that show. Like, did somebody else write that for her? Was that hers?
She's right. She can rap.
But that sounded awful.
But she's Brandy.
I didn't even watch it.
She can rap, but she's not. I don't want to hear a rap.
She's not a rapper.
No,
yeah,
that would be.
But she can ride a beat. She got a little flow.
She's gonna be
maybe I
that
should.
TikTok that's going on right now. Like in 20 years, and they're gonna be like, "Do you remember any of your rap? I used to wiggle wiggle or whatever it is." That stupid one.
The only reason I hated it was because Brandy is a legend. Like, and for our generation,
Yeah,
Brandy's
absolutely.
She's a legend.
No, definitely.
Between music and Moesha, she's a legend.
Yes.
So I don't want to hear our legends do shit that's beneath them.
I think Ming Ming can out rap Brandy.
She might be able to.
I think she can.
I agree
Y'all
with
gotta hear
you.
the rap.
She.
I'm gonna have to
Brandy can
listen
rap.
to it. I'm gonna have to listen to it now. But I agree with you. I just think, why are you lowering yourself? Just because somebody that's literally like 20 some years younger than all
The
of
poor
us
guy
doesn't
probably was
know
like,
who
"What
you
did I
are, that's
do,
okay.
man?"
That's not the end of the
That's
world.
like, like for her to. I don't think she was really mad. I just think she wanted to get some headlines.
She wanted a rap beef.
I think she wanted some headlines, and I think she wanted people to know she could rap. So I think she wanted to do that.
I bet you any
an
amount of
album
money
coming.
something's gonna come
I
after.
don't
You think an
she-
album's
yeah.
coming?
I don't
Yeah.
think she's mad about that. My daughter is 20. Do you know Brandy? Right. So
See, this is what I'm saying. Like, why was she so upset about
She wants
it?
to come out with an album now. I'm telling you, watch.
You think there's some like publicity
I
stunt
think
behind
so.
this? Maybe
I think so. Cause who else would say Merc? Like
she did. She said,
Merc?
"I'd murk you."
I haven't heard
on
that
a rap.
word in.
Brandy,
a long
Brandy,
time.
They from South Central.
Oh yeah, that's true.
They have not lived there in a very long time.
Very long time.
Very long
Brandy
time.
been rich her whole life.
Yes, yes,
She was a teenager when she came. to
yes.
Vegas, so.
But I think it's like beneath her to even respond. Like that would be like if somebody talks shit about Michael Jackson and Michael Jackson hopping on Twitter. This whole
Yeah.
catalog, I'm gonna
Yep.
make money off of you now. That was the best
that was the
response he
big
could have
flex.
made.
Yep.
But if he would have come out and been like, "I could rap better than you, Eminem,"
Yeah, I don't want to see Mike doing it. Yes,
You
I'm talking about. I
know?
want to see Mike do I didn't want to see Brandy rap.
it's bad.
And it was corny because of she didn't have to respond. But Brandy can rap. She's not like
You keep saying it, and I have to
Yeah.
listen.
What
I have
if-
to listen to it?
What if this is all a publicity stunt and like she's making a new Cinderella and like Jack Harlow's Prince Charming or something?
Wouldn't
Jack
that be
Harlow's
some
in the
shit?
the new white man can't joke.
Is he?
Is he?
He's
Wait, there's a new movie.
He's the white man?
he's the white man. He can't joke.
Oh my
I
god.
just think there are certain movies that
DC.
shouldn't be remade.
Well, this was
So who else plays in it? LeBron James?
no DC Young Flies in it. There's a couple people.
Who's playing Wesley Snipes' role?
I forget.
There's just some things you shouldn't remake.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
They're
it's
remaking it. He's not. Well,
Oh my god.
this one is supposed to be like it's not supposed to be.
Is he Woody's son?
It's not supposed to have anything to do with the new story. So these are all new characters.
okay.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a
Okay.
sequel, not a redo.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I'm fine with that. A sequel I'm okay with, but when they
And
keep
Jack Harlow's like 6'4", so
Is he?
Yeah, he's a.
Oh, I didn't think he was that tall.
He's tall.
Is he bow-legged?
this one ready. She's ready.
I mean, he's not.
Is
that,
he
he's
bow-legged?
not that bad looking.
So then, speaking of things that are beneath us, T.I. Sun King got into an altercation at the Waffle House. Did you see this?
I saw the story. I didn't read it.
So he was at the Waffle House and he got into an altercation with the short line cook. He went back in and out, got into an argument with him, caused this whole big scene because his food wasn't made right. He basically became a Karen. He had a Karen moment. So he had a Ken moment. He had a Ken moment and videotaped it. And I think he went live or posted the video.
Is this the same one that had some shit that happened a couple years ago?
Yes, and he's the young
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
Because a couple years ago, something happened with one of his sons where he popped off in a parking lot.
That was King, the same
Yeah.
one.
Same one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
He's a firecracker. He's his father's child.
But then T.I. goes on live to try to explain the situation, and his explanation irked me more than his son's behavior.
Yeah, because he's actually belittling the people.
He was like, I sat down, with all of his uncles, and I sat down with him, and we were very perplexed by the situation because he gotta indubitably perplexed by the situation. And he was like, I had to sit down and talk to my son. Why did you feel the need to interact with a short line cook? Why did you feel the need to entertain someone so far beneath you in life? And I was like, the fuck?
Yeah, that's what got me.
T.I. says a lot of fuck shit.
He does.
He says,
I don't like anybody that thinks they're better than somebody else. No, nobody's better than. I don't care if you're the richest man or the poorest man. You're not any better than this one, and you can switch places in a second.
He's not into comedy like that,
which is why he failed.
Yeah, and they booed the shit out of him.
To a new genre and talk about, well, I'm a superstar.
Not here.
You're still not a comic.
Yes,
you're not.
Yes, it's a whole different thing. It's a whole different area.
And he said. One thing he said that I know a lot of comics that I even know took offense to was comedy's easy. I'm killing it because his first couple times on stage, he got a good response. But he was in Atlanta.
That's your home. Of course, they're just excited to see you. They're not even paying attention to what you're saying.
And as soon as he left Atlanta, he realized
it's not easy. It's not easy.
Nah, and I've been on record saying multiple times, I think comedy is the hardest thing in entertainment. To stand up, getting on the stage,
it's grueling.
With that mic, and you having to get on that stage, and you have a bunch of people expecting you to make them laugh. That's the hardest thing.
And it's
because comedy's subjective too.
Yeah, and it's a grueling process. Like, you don't just wake up and become Kevin Hart. You got to do show after show and travel the country and city by city, and you got to be underground almost for so long, working your way towards that moment. Like, it's a grueling process.
And even the greats bomb.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of greats who still bomb. Like, so for you to come in
with that arrogance.
Yeah. T.I.'s really arrogant.
Somebody could have pulled a Nutty Professor movie on him. Somebody could have been Dave Chappelle and got out the audience and started roasting the shit out of him.
That's
and
true.
Tiny, and he would have been...
Well, he's trying to excuse himself. He was actually, he gave testimony as to why he did that at Chappelle's show this week. Like, I guess he talked to either the press or the attorneys or whatever. He released a statement saying, like, oh, well, the jokes that he was making was triggering to me because he's bisexual. And he said the jokes he was making were triggering. The guy that ran up on stage.
Oh, okay.
He was like, oh, this was triggering to me. My thing is, like, if you're easily triggered or you're easily triggered just by the words that... Exactly. Why are you at a comedy show?
Comedy used to be the safe space.
It was. Yeah. You could say some dickhead shit and people are just going to either laugh or they're not. But it's not going to get violent. Like, you just know that's what a comedy show
or
is.
Even, like, the people getting super offended.
Yes.
Right.
Comedy... was either you get the joke or you don't, but nobody used to be safe from jokes. Now it's like, oh, you can't talk about us. You can't say that about us.
How dare you?
It's
like, keep your sensitive asses at home. That's
like, I've seen white comics make black jokes, and if the joke slaps, I'm laughing.
Yeah.
Like, like if the joke is trash, then you're walking that fine line.
Yeah.
But if it's funny, it's funny.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to laugh at yourself. I don't give a shit who you are. I don't give a shit what the climate is in the country. If you go to a comedy show, it's for relief.
Yes.
And if you're in there like, he better not make jokes about like,
yeah, like that's
why
not,
even go? Well, yeah, why even go?
Comics should never be held to the standard of having to be politically correct. Like, that should never be something that's put on their shoulders.
Because all of the best specials that I've ever seen were the complete opposite.
Exactly.
Politically correct.
Exactly. And they're the funniest and they're the most honest and most raw. And even if you don't agree with his opinion, it's still just like, it's the vibe of it. It's the... I'm so irritated with people that keep doing this. But yeah, he was in the news this week. And this entitled nature is apparently running wild through the comedy with T.I.
Well, you run up on one of my comments at U Street Labs, you gonna get your ass beat.
I double dog dare. I
was about to
that would
say
be,
the same thing, but I caught myself. I'm like, maybe
I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. All of Water Street's getting shut the fuck down. Like, do you know how bad that would go for you?
Don't even do it.
There's been like 2 times where there's been like a heckler at the show, and I think they've always gotten kind of handled. They got handled well, but they still stayed and enjoyed the rest of the show. They just shut the fuck up because they, you know.
I went to a show last night, and shout out to them. I don't want to, because of what I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna say who it was, but shout out to them. When I tell you, everybody was talking during the whole show, and it was just like people had their backs to them. the crowd thought that they was gonna interact with each comedian and go back and forth with them. I was just sitting there like, nah, never, not at one. Because me as a producer, I'm like, nah, hell no. I would have came to the crowd. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Get the fuck up and get up.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the hell?
What was the seating like?
That was
because I feel like that plays a big factor. Like if you're at a table and there's just chairs around you, you're facing other people. You're not facing the. It feels like you're just at a bar and there just happens to be somebody talking up here on a mic.
Right.
You know.
Right. Conversation. It was just.
It just sounded like a disaster.
Shout out to them.
It doesn't sound like it was.
I hope you're having a better day today.
Those are my guys. But I get mad, and I'm not mad at them. They did what they're supposed to do. But I just get mad when I see the crowd's not respecting the craft.
I don't see how they don't stand there and be like, "Hey, can y'all shut up?" Like if I was on stage, I think I'd be really tempted to be like, "Can you be quiet back there?"
Yo, my guy Josh was on stage, so he actually started engaging with the crowd, which is kind of what you gotta do in a situation like that.
Right.
And he didn't he maneuvered through it and finished his set. Some of them comics weren't as seasoned, and they couldn't get through it.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Like when you got people with their backs to you and they're having a whole conversation.
Yeah.
Man, I'll start snapping at the back of somebody's neck. Like, yo. You got
turn around.
You got a railroad track on your neck.
Like you over there with the hot dog bun.
So y'all about to be hosting?
Yes, we are.
All the more reason. Don't talk in the back of our show because we will say something if you're in the audience talking shit.
I'm gonna be cutting on people. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's a show that we haven't even promoted yet, but
no.
Yeah,
we're excited for that on.
Very soon.
Very soon.
It's gonna be so fun.
So there was an episode released this week of David Letterman's new show on Netflix. My Guest Needs No Introduction, I think is what it's called.
I didn't see none of season 2, but season 1 was dope.
So Will Smith's episode aired, and this episode was filmed 2 months before the Oscars happened. So it was enlightening.
It was.
To say the least. You didn't watch it, did you?
I saw highlights.
There was a part where he had talked about how he had never done drugs in his whole life, but all of a sudden at this moment with everything going on, he felt the need to experiment with ayahuasca, like the hallucinogenic. So so he took the tea and he said all he kept having was visions of his career slipping away and his money slipping away and his kids sleep. He was saying this and he was like, I just keep having this fear that my career is about to be destroyed.
Yeah, he said he was sitting there and he was trying to grab the money, trying to grab his career, and then Willow was in the back saying, Daddy, help me, help me.
And then all he wanted to do was get to her.
And then he let his career go.
And then...
But I honestly think that...
I think Will can let his career go today and he's not going to hurt for the rest of his life.
You think so?
I think financially he might not, but
not if that divorce goes, because that...
I think financially he might not. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
But he got bread and he got companies. Like he's not... His sole income is not acting. He's producing and doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I think financially he'd be fine if he stopped filming tomorrow, but I think the spiritual side of him, the emotional, the creative side of him is going to feel imprisoned. You know, him not being able to make a movie or him I feel like he's going to be like Morgan Freeman. Like he's going to be acting forever, not because he needs to, but because that's his craft and he just enjoys it and he doesn't want to let it go.
Like I could never see Will Smith as an extra.
Never.
Or like a
understudy.
Understudy. You know what I'm saying? Like
Will Smith.
Yeah, he's financially he's good.
Never be that. And 300. That's the rest of his
He
life.
probably have to move out of LA.
But if his divorce is $400 million,
well, it can't be that. If that's not what their assets are.
I hope not. She don't deserve it. Her fucking
like they can't give her money in a divorce settlement he doesn't have.
God.
Will be fine no matter what he does.
She tore him his chunk. Now I was gonna say his chunky butt, but she tore him up.
I
like
think
for
when
real.
you are dealing with your own shit, which is what I think we saw at the Oscars, that doesn't matter how much money you have, and you have to get right with yourself. And I don't know if it's Jada's fault or because their marriage obviously has had its trouble, but we don't know none of us know what the particulars are.
I'm sure they both hold blame in the situation. Like, we like to blame her, but
because that's what we know.
That's what we see.
I'm sure Will has probably done worse.
I'm sure.
But do you think that he actually copied off the movie? Because there is a movie.
Oh, I saw that, the clip, right?
Yes, and
Did you see that?
It's the exact same thing
To the words.
Yeah.
There's a movie from like early 90s, late 80s, and there's a comedian on stage, and there's a wealthy man with his girlfriend or wife or whatever.
She
sitting
even
next
has
to
the
him.
face like Jada, the way she gave
So,
the husband
yes.
a side eye and everything.
In the
What
clip,
movie is this?
we gotta look it up again. In the clip, the comedian's on stage, and he makes some reference to the man's wife.
Mm-hmm.
The wife looks at him. The husband looks at the stage. He gets up, slaps him in the face. It like even the motion of like how they went looked exactly the same. Turns around and sits back down and was like, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth." It was like
Where was
to a T. It's been floating around the internet. Like, I saw it on Facebook.
And it's something
I
that
posted
happened
it to the
before.
Queen's
It's a
Table.
movie. It's a
Yeah.
movie made in like the early 90s.
I'm about to
And
find it.
literally this clip is to the T what happened at the Oscars.
Yep.
It looked staged. Like
It
the
did.
first-
I feel like it might have been now.
The first time I saw it, I thought it was staged until the reaction. Like
Yeah.
Once I saw Chris Rock's reaction, and he was so flustered,
Yeah.
I was like, nah. And then when I heard him, once Will started cussing, I said, I know the Oscars didn't approve that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, so this shit is definitely real.
Yeah. I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, was that real? Like, or was that just the, publicity stunt type of thing? But I don't think they would have done it knowing the backlash that was going to come. It's wild.
And it's from the 90s?
Yeah, it's old. Watch. We're going to put this in our
Yo,
comments.
he smacked him just like Will did.
Exactly.
See?
And then wait.
And just walked off.
And,
And then he's
going
gonna
to
say the same thing.
and everything.
He's going to say the same thing.
Nah, ain't no way.
Yes. We're going to put this clip into the comments so you guys can see what we're talking about. It's identical.
Is this from the 90s?
Yes. Like late 80s,
What
early
movie is
90s.
I'm going to try to find
Yeah,
it.
we need to find
It's
that, 'cause that shit is
Because
identical.
it's
That's
identical.
crazy. It's like really identical.
Yes.
I don't believe that's old. We have to find. I need sources. That's crazy.
You can tell by the look. You can tell
We
by
need
the look
proof.
of the way the movie is set up. You can tell the clothes and
Yeah,
everything.
It's
I need confirmation.
suspicious.
That shit looks crazy.
It's been floating around all this week. It started floating around online. I guess
Somebody
maybe
found
somebody
it.
found it.
Yeah.
I saw it earlier this week and I was like, no. And it's identical to what happened.
Yeah, for sure. Like eerily identical. That's,
Yes.
That's crazy.
He even did the
With his
thing
coat.
with the jacket when he walked
And
down the
so it is-
steps.
Uh-huh.
I was telling you guys that we was talking the other day. We just brought it back up. We was talking about it, and I was like, "There's one thing. Like you couldn't smack me and turn your back on me.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Like if you smack fire out me, I don't care who you are in this planet. Matter of fact, I dare you to do that. Like if you feel like you can walk up on me, first off, you better smack me to sleep. Because if you don't turn your back on me.
Now that I
'Cause I'm
see,
going to do you so dirty.
Yeah.
If you turn your back on me.
like now that I see that, it has to be some sort of publicity.
It
Like
has
is
to
it
be.
is it the brother's career? Or
See,
is it Chris Rock's comedy career? Like what is it?
I
Because
think-
his show's been selling out like crazy.
Will and Chris were filthy rich before that happened. So I don't think.
See, I think that it might have been a setup at first. And then when people started reacting and they saw how
They
negative
had to run with it.
people were talking about it, I think
But what's
they
the
realized
thing?
that it was a mistake.
Like, Will.
I I think they were expecting it to be like, oh, look at him coming to the defense of his wife. Like, look how strong they are. I think they expected that kind of reaction, not what they got.
Yeah.
And I know he wasn't expecting Jada to throw his ass under
The bus
either.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But it's too similar. It's too similar.
I need confirmation. Then show me that movie. What movie is that?
Yes,
I gotta find. Yeah, I gotta find it. I somebody posted it and I shared the Queen's Table and I'm like, this is crazy.
That's bullshit and it came out recently,
or it's absolutely staged.
Or Will saw that and he was like, I'm doing this tonight.
Like down to the chick looking at him, giving him that
That's
look.
What I'm saying. Like
it's way too similar.
It is.
So yeah, we'll put that in the comments for sure, so you guys can see what we're talking about. But it's creepy to me.
I saw a comedian said
pull up that post.
A comedian, because they were talking like it was an interview with Ari Spears, and he was talking about how he was at a comedy show. It was Guy Tori. And he was like, I've seen shit way more vicious than what Chris Rock said. He said the guy said. Like, Guy Tori started going on the guy's mom, and the guy was like, my mom's dead. He said, well, I dig that bitch up, stand her up, and talk shit to her face. I was like, wow. I said, yo.
That.
Forget what Chris Rock said. I said, I would have destroyed this
bitch.
Yo,
that was savage.
That
was savage.
Not only would I dig, I'll dig that bitch up.
Stand her up.
And talk shit to her face. Yo, I was like, Jesus.
That is the most vicious shit.
It's vicious, but it's funny as fuck. Yo. I'm sorry, but
yo, that was so crazy.
Yo.
Oh my God.
The fuck?
That shit's wild. Yeah, I thought the same thing though. I didn't think what Chris Rock said in the first place was even that bad. Like, it really wasn't that bad for that kind of reaction.
Will was already pissed.
Yeah, he was just having a bad day. They probably got into a fight on the way there. So we had a post earlier this week on Queen's Table. How much time we have? I don't know how much time. Okay, yeah, because it was like a half hour on the.
All right, so we got with our fans and we asked them, what is something sexual you always wanted to talk about? Wanted to know or talk about. It was open discussion. And our fans went a little wild.
So, a little bit. A little bit.
So, if you don't mind me saying the names, Bravo Team Wolf, he said BDSM and the beauty of trust.
What the fuck kind of name is Bravo Team Wolf?
I think he's a race car driver.
Oh, I have
no idea. That makes any sense. I don't know.
Okay.
Javante London, stay out my DM, sir. You are not eating me out, so just stay out my DMs.
Oh my God. Why?
He said 2 girls at the same time. I'm sorry, this is how he typed it, so I'm not slow. So 2 girls at the same time and leave a girl, go to a swinger party, meet 2 more girls, bring all of them, just me. And then
so 4 girls? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I guess. 2 and 2.
But
and Martell Major says how words can trigger a physical pleasure.
I thought that one was interesting.
How words can trigger a physical pleasure.
The 4-on-1, dude, let's be real. There isn't a man under the sun that has that kind of stamina. None of you can handle that.
Well,
4 women at once. I don't know a man. What are you doing with 2 of them at least? At least 2 of them. You're gonna run out of hands. You're gonna run out of hands. You're gonna run out of mouths. You're gonna run out of stuff to do stuff with.
Listen, I think
most men can't handle.
I think anything's possible.
Anything is possible. I mean, they do have the pills now.
Let's be real. Most of these men out here, they talk a big game. They
not
talk
him.
A big game.
Maybe not him, but
I think there are men for sure out there.
There is men that can do it.
I don't know about.
I feel like I'd be the one like end up sitting in the corner like I don't know what to do.
Like, you get bored.
I think there's men out there for sure that can wear multiple women out.
At the same time.
Absolutely, for sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Without question.
I feel like, but isn't there always somebody that's just kind of hanging out?
Well, I've never had.
I'm trying to figure out the logistics of it, you know?
Been with 4 women at the same time, so yeah, probably.
You know what I mean?
That's a
Like,
lot.
if you really think about it logically, like, there's always going to be somebody just kind of hanging out.
I unless
Unless you're just watching two others
those
do
4
something.
women are heavily into women because they could be
Doing each other.
doing each other.
they could be occupied. But if that's the thing about threesomes, foursomes, fivesomes.
Mm-hmm.
If you have women involved in that ain't really into women, then that's when it's sitting around stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But if a woman really likes a woman, like
Mhm.
really loves women,
Yeah.
they're
She's gonna be into it.
They're never
Yeah.
gonna be because there's never
I mean,
like if you really love both,
Yeah.
then you're never gonna be just sitting around.
Yeah.
Because there's always something for you.
You got something to play with, no matter what.
so what about BDSM?
What about it? What is he asking about it?
Well, I said, have you ever had experience with it? And he's basically talking about the trust level. You know, can you be with somebody and trust them that much to actually actually like partake in the experience of being
I think it would
tied up
depend.
and
Yeah, no.
blindfolded and
Nope.
handcuffed and
Nope.
Wait, what?
So the fan was asking basically like his question was about BDSM
Yeah.
and basically like could you trust somebody enough to do that kind of stuff? Like the tying up and the blindfolds and all of that.
I would be with this. Don't handcuff me, because I've had trauma. I have PTSD.
I'm right here with you.
But we can. Yeah. I would. Yeah,
I don't think I'd ever feel that comfortable. I remember many years ago, I remember one time getting my hands tied up, and he didn't do anything offensive, but he tickled me. He tickled me to the point where I wanted to pee my pants, and I never again would trust someone to put me in a position where I can't, like, you know what I mean? Like, you violated. I put trust in you in that moment, and you violated. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, nah, I can't trust to do that, to feel like incapacitated. I'm not comfortable. I'll tie you up.
So he said,
But I can't.
said there is a level of freedom that many people never reach because of lack of trust. That type of trust is an entry level standard in said world.
I think that goes without saying. I think when you trust and are comfortable with the person you're sleeping with,
Mm-hmm.
you man and women, you're more comfortable exploring different places that you haven't been, or you know what I mean, you're trying new things.
He's talking about butt stuff.
So what about when it's like somebody?
not minty fresh over here.
What about if it's somebody that like reaches out to you and wants to partake in BDSM, like
a dominatrix situation?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
So like because I've had people reach out to me, you know what I'm saying, and they actually want to partake in some adventurous stuff.
I think if that's
And
what you're into.
I'm a complete stranger to some of these
Do
people.
they know? You told them that you with the shits,
Yeah,
so they know when you.
they know. Like I've actually.
Have
Yeah.
you ever done that and just been like the dominatrix without engaging?
Yeah.
So that's your shit.
Like some people, there was this one guy. I'm not gonna say no names. He just wanted me to spank him.
That's it.
Spank him. Yeah.
Oh.
He wanted me to. He
I
wanted
feel
me to
like
put.
I
He
need-
wanted me to put. He wanted me to put on the outfit,
Uh-huh.
the mask or
And just
whatever,
spank 'em.
and spank him.
Anybody ever watch Billions? You ever watch
Yeah.
Billions? I love that show.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
one
yeah,
dude. There's the
doc-
one guy in there.
The lawyer, the
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like I think it's fun. You know
I
what
think
I mean?
it
Like,
just depends on your preferences. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, if that's what you're into, I always say, like, no matter how wild you think somebody's sexual preferences, there's somebody out there that thinks what you like is wild.
mhm,
There's some
mhm.
housewife in Iowa that thinks anything beyond missionary is sinful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, whatever floats your boat.
And I think we all come to that. Like when we try something, like me, when I first tried anything that was outside of the box,
Mm-hmm.
I always felt like I had to be a ashamed of it or be, you mean be ashamed.
Like, was that dirty of me to
Mhm.
do?
Now that I'm an adult and I'm with the person I've been like, I'm like, this is what the fuck. You can't tell me what we're supposed to do.
Yeah,
I
it's
actually
supposed, you're
had-
supposed to spice it up. You're
Yeah.
supposed to keep it adventurous.
I
and-
actually had somebody actually come to me, and he actually was interested at first. And I told him, okay, this is what is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? This is what's going to go down. This is what I'll do, whatever. And then he said, let me think about it or whatever. He told me to bring my paper in so he can look it over and stuff like that.
That's the
and-
contract.
Then he was like, I changed my mind.
I would.
But I
yo,
feel like that's
changed,
okay,
he
though.
changed his mind. Like, he was just like,
I,
no.
I have no surprises in me that people are scared of Vixen.
I'm not shocked. I'm
The
not shocked at
stories
all.
that she tells,
Yeah.
I'm like, I can see that.
I think-
understand.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of-
he said no. and I
Especially if this
understood.
was somebody that was maybe inexperienced with that kind of stuff. Maybe he thought like, "Oh, this sounds great," and then he saw the contract and was like, "Hold on, this
Yeah.
is not what I like." He got scared. I think he
because
probably got scared.
you have to sign here and I have to sign here, and once that's done,
Wait,
it's
you
it's
got NDAs that come
it's
into
a
your
wrap.
bedroom?
well, it's not in
What
my
the fuck
actual.
you be doing to these? What are you doing? You make them sign NDAs before they come into your bedroom?
It's not actually in my bedroom, but yeah,
Yeah, she has a contract.
Vixen, yo, Vixen
I
different,
do.
yo.
Like,
Vixen
I-
different.
it's just something that I'm into because I kind of get off, and
But
then
is the
it's like
is the contract? That's not for everybody. That's
not for
just
it's
for
sure
the ones that you do that stuff with.
yeah,
That kind of stuff.
yeah, it's not for everybody. Like the person that I've actually,
You know you can actually make that like a business.
it is.
Isn't that called prostitution?
No, it's not.
Oh,
It absolutely is not.
what is that called?
Because I am not a prostitute,
Well,
ma'am.
no. If you're not engaged in that actual
No, if you
sex
make it
We're
a
not-
business.
Yeah.
Oh, so when it's just like the playing and the
Yeah, they're paying
Okay.
they're paying
The
for the
activity.
pleasure pretty much.
like a madam.
They're paying for the pain,
'Cause some
the
dudes
pleasure.
like pain, right?
Yes.
And they want to be submissive.
Mhm.
I get
Yeah.
that. I get that.
I had this
I could
one
never.
where I had him on
We
his
have
knees,
comments.
his
Look at
hands
the
was
comments.
tied behind his back and he had to gag. And he
I don't like the gag.
he wanted to feel like it was a thrill for him. He wanted to feel like he this is his words. He wanted to feel like his life was going to end.
See, that kind of
That's
thing
a-
would be
that was
scary
a
to me.
thrill for him. It was a thrill, but I'm there. Like we have safe words and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But when you have a gag in your mouth,
You
put
can't
the
say
ball
it.
in your mouth?
he did.
Have you ever done that?
I have.
Have you done the ball in the mouth? I've seen it, and I haven't been there. I'm not.
I feel like that's a real quick way to aspirate and die.
I feel like
Like it
looks
just
like-
worries me a
looks
little.
like a pig
It depends
your
on how
face.
tight you put it.
Yeah, like I
know-
don't want anything that's obstructing my airways. You know,
Well, you can
I
breathe
like
through
a
your
little,
nose.
I like a little light choking. You light choke me with a ball in my mouth. What the fuck's gonna happen? Like that just
I'll try-
Well, you don't- I
what
mean-
is-
just a little
is
light,
that
little
a
light
turn on
choking.
for you?
It depends on what we're doing.
And what does it do? Like, what? Why is it a turn? Like, does it actually cut your? Like, you feel like you're choking?
No, it's because like for me, when I'm going through pain, I tend to like bite down. So it's kind of like a
Oh, okay.
guard for
Yeah.
me. You know
Like
what I mean?
Like a stress ball in your mouth.
Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, it feels what?
Bonnie's on here. She says
Hi, Bonnie.
Hollywood says Brandy has bars, but she can leave the rap into Ray J.
Ray J hit that don't do that.
Wait a minute.
Ray J got a couple
Ray J
joints,
doesn't need to
though.
do that either.
He got a couple singing joints though. He got a couple.
No, every time he raps, he still sounds like he's singing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like One Wish. I like that
Yeah,
one.
One Wish
Was
is
that a
fire.
rap
Yeah.
or was he singing?
It was a song.
That was singing.
Was that sing?
I have
Yeah.
one
He got,
wish.
Ray J got like 3 or 4 bangers.
Back in
Yeah.
the day, it's been a little
Yeah.
bit, yeah, but he's wealthy in his
Yeah.
own right.
He is
I was
now.
shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's one of those little hidden ones that you think because he hasn't put anything out in music, like he's just
Well,
kind
he
of
has
died
a
off.
his own little
let's
business
not-
ventures.
Yo,
and let's
mad
not-
business.
Let's not forget Ray J has created multiple billionaires because he's responsible for all the Kardashians.
Yeah, but I don't think he benefits
He
off
sure
of that.
damn is.
No.
Maybe the
And
sex
they,
tape,
and
but
they actually have more money than him.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Huh?
I feel like he should be worth more than that. Cause didn't he just make some huge business deal a couple years ago? I remember
Them
seeing-
bikes, those little
Yeah,
bikes.
Was it
the
the-
Scooty bikes? But he has partners. But he also had. I think it's the Scooty Bikes or the glasses. One of his
No wonder
projects-
Precious went back.
That
to
like
him.
blew up.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
worth something big. So but I don't think he got paid out for that yet. Like,
Okay.
it's projected. So
Yeah.
Ray J's fine.
Yeah, he's okay. He's okay. Brandy, I don't know.
Well,
Well, she
Brandy-
got her brother.
No. Brandy's still the one because Brandy's still getting Moesha.
Oh
checks.
yeah, and
When-
they're playing Moesha right now
they
on.
just streamed
When
it.
you have
Yep.
a show that gets syndicated,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're good.
yeah,
Yep.
That's a
Yeah.
check for life.
I just saw who? I just saw.
That's kind of low, honestly. In this day and age, though, like that's not really that much money.
I think it was Cole or somebody off of Martin,
Mm-hmm.
and he said he gets $300,000 a year off of syndication,
I could
And
live a
he's-
life off of that.
and he's this. That'd be like 300,000 for us. If like, you ain't living in Cali, you're living in Pennsylvania, $300,000 a year.
I
you
can live off
good.
of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing too. That's why I say like that's not a lot of money because in Cali,
Yeah,
in
Cali-
LA, and
yeah,
Hollywood,
that's not gonna go
14
far.
million is not that much money.
But 300,000 a year in PA.
I would
be
syndicate
fine.
that show, move out here,
Yeah, you
and be
fine.
good for the rest of my life. I'd be fine.
For sure.
I just smoke weed every day.
I wouldn't do shit.
I wouldn't do a damn thing.
And
I would enjoy
and
my life.
And I heard Cole's actually trying to do stand up now, so shout out to him.
Stop it. What, basketball wasn't enough?
And I heard he was not good at it. So hopefully,
Who's telling these guys that they can do stand up though? That is an art. It is a genuine art.
and if you're not in it, you don't respect. That's why I got irked when I saw T.I.
Mm-hmm.
treating it the way I'm a superstar. I'm like, why are you on worldwide tours when you've been doing comedy for 2 months?
Yeah.
Like, this is.
I think it's
crazy.
because there's so many people that whether they do sports or music that it's very easy to transition into like acting. It's really easy to get like a movie role or this or that. But that's not it, they think they can just transition into any area then
You have
because you
to-
have a celebrity status.
You gotta know your lane.
Yeah.
Like
Some of y'all aren't
like,
funny.
We're in the comedy game now,
Mhm.
and so many comics have come to me like, "Yo, you're funny on your show. You need to try it on stage." No, because that's not my fucking lane.
That's not what we do.
And I was talking to a couple comics last night, and I was telling them like, I'm funny on the show by accident. Like it's not. Sometimes
So then that
I
means
say
it's
shit,
natural.
But I say shit and people start laughing, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that was funny. I can't go up on stage with the pressure of make me laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want
Yeah.
that. Like, I just want to be who I am because who I am, and when people laugh, that's who I've always been. This is easy.
Mm-hmm.
I can't go up there and just create structure a joke
And it's different when it's like you gotta wait for them to laugh. Like,
yeah.
did y'all get it? Did you
like-
get it? Like,
But that's when you add that into your joke, and then that's what's gonna make them laugh.
I don't
oh,
want my
it
job
looks
to
scary.
depend on making them like when I'm on Say Less. You might laugh a couple times through the show,
Mm.
but it's not my job to make you laugh.
That's
Right,
not the goal.
right.
Yeah, I'm sitting here talking about shit, and if I
Yeah.
make you laugh, good.
Oh man. Well, guys, we have another Sunday in the books. Another showdown. We want to do rundown before we head out. All of the upcoming stuff.
Well, Between Darkness and Light should have been actually yesterday. And it
Yesterday.
didn't happen. And we announced that it was canceled, but we're gonna try to figure something out, maybe. Because I got so much love for the cast, and they work so hard, and I think we gotta get the people what they need. So I'm not promising nothing yet. We'll figure it out this week, and we'll come up with that. Cypher Sounds, June 11th. It's gonna be crazy.
You better bring Nas with you.
Yes, you better.
Oh
Cypher Sounds
my.
is actually our biggest name that we've ever had yet. U Street is a year and some change old, and Cypher Sounds is the biggest name that we've had. So June 11th at Zotropolis. Get your tickets now at zotropolis.com. He's bringing his friends. Our guy Damian Robinson is opening, and he's been on Say Less, and he's been on a couple of us. That's our guy. He's also the host of Room Around, one of the hosts of Room Around. And then we have U Street. I was about to say. Yeah, U Street Labs in York, August 5th. August 5th, which is a Friday. It's the first Friday. What's the day for Run? But August 5th, that's our first show that actually got contracted outside of our city. Our home base is in Lancaster, and
we gonna take over.
Yeah.
It was the people that are our fans and viewers. They don't realize how big it was, but it was a big deal for us to actually sell a show to a different city because that means we're doing good things here.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to do.
Yeah. So shout out to York, shout out to the Parliament. August 5th will be there. Rumor Rhyme is when?
July.
So we got a Rumor
It's in
Rhyme.
July.
July. I don't know the exact date, but July, our Rumor Rhyme number 3. Our third Rumor Rhyme, like I said, Thunder and Dame, they are our hosts, and we will have a great lineup. And we got a lot. She Got Jokes coming up that we didn't announce yet, but the Queenston will be hosting She Got Jokes. That's in September. We got a whole bunch of shit.
Got a lot of
every
stuff.
month. Every month.
I just want to let y'all know we're gonna keep hitting y'all in the head, and we ain't gonna stop.
Nope.
Hell no.
Nope. So make sure you come. Make sure you get your tickets. Zotropolis.com. We'll drop the link in the comments for all the tickets, and then make sure you stay tuned for any other announcements. We always got something new coming.
Absolutely. And we
always got
new
something
shows
new
on the way. On Site is on season 2 is going on right now.
Yes.
And we got I Hate It Here actually.
Yes.
Yay! I'm so excited.
I'm excited for that.
Host Kenzie. So
Oh, Queen Kenzie to the rescue.
Kenzie.
Oh, this will be good. I'm excited. All right, guys. Till next week.
Till next week.
We'll see you. Deuces.